Okay, I'm going to talk about Lab 8 and Lab 9 kind of at the same time. Now, under content, under software needed, I put some files in here. You'll find Ncase 7.11. You can use that or newer. That's fine. There's Ncase keys. Ncase works off a licensing server. And I think is it installed in these computers? It might not be. Oh, actually, Ncase 8's installed, so you can use Ncase 8 as well. I'll put the file up there for Ncase 8. But when you install Ncase, I want to show you what it looks like. Come on. Well, if it ever loads. There, okay. When you install Ncase, it needs a license to run. And the way you make it work is under Tools, Options, then you'll have, they moved it, great. Oh, there it is, License Manager. For you guys, what you're going to do is you're going to download the Ncase keys that are in that content folder, and you're going to point to them wherever they are on your machine, because you cannot access this path. So yours is going to say something similar to C:(Ncase), something like that, wherever you unzip the keys at. And for you, the address is cm.cyber.rose.edu. That's the way you're going to reference it from outside the network. This does say this inside the instructions of the lab, so that's fine. But I also have a video up there about it. But you put that in there, and that'll make Ncase work. Okay, this is version 8. I'll put the install files for it up there. But I also have in version 7 up here. All the videos for Ncase that you see of mine are of 7. I haven't made one for 8 yet. It's not that different, but it is better. So I just didn't realize he put the keys up there. All right, so but there's how to install Ncase. There's the keys. There's where you get Ncase from. The newest one here is Paraben Device Seizure. Okay, I can't show you that in here, but that's one that literally took us forever to get up and running because Paraben is actually quite expensive and it is very popular in the mobile world. It's just that I don't know. I'm not a real big fan of the interface for it. We will be getting Celebrite, but not until next year. We've literally been waiting nearly a year to get our license approved for that, and it's not approved yet. But you install Paraben, and it's the same kind of thing. It's going to need to talk to the licensing server. Put in that same thing, cm.cyber.rose.edu. It says it in the instructions, and that will make it work. So without the license, these two softwares won't do a darn thing for you. If you want to know what they cost, Ncase costs about $3,000 a year. Paraben is darn close. It's like $2,800 a year. So very expensive. You're going to need those two. Okay? Under Lab 8, there's a PDF up here, which actually should have been up here a week ago. But, okay. What I want you to do is capture a device of your choosing. I don't care what it is, an iPhone, an Android, and a tablet, or whatever you want to do. I want you to use both Ncase and Paraben. I want you to just play with both of them. What I'm really looking for is what your thoughts are on them. Are they good? Are they different? What is the same? Because I have had areas where you can find stuff in one, but you can't find it in the other. Are the contacts show up in both? Can you see both Wi-Fi in both? So I'm really looking for just some comparisons. This is here. This is here. Now, one thing you'll notice if you look through some of my recordings on Ncase, every time Apple releases another iOS, everything's moved. So don't expect to watch my recordings from Ncase 6 and just say, oh, it's right there. It's not the same. Just look around. And when you are working with Ncase, it's very critical that this title bar says Ncase Training or Ncase Forensics Training or something. If it says acquisition mode, it's not going to work. Acquisition mode means it's not talking to the licensing server correctly. And if you don't realize that, you'll be installing the image and you'll be like, why can't I see anything? It doesn't pop up and say I'm not going to work. It just says at the title bar, acquisition mode only. The reason for that is you can take Ncase out to the field, capture an image, in other words, acquire it, and then take it back to the office and examine it. So, okay. But what all I want to see for Lab 8 is some differences on there. Are they about the same? They should be close, but look at it and let me know what you think. The easiest way to get this thing to work is to make an iTunes backup of your device. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if you try in Encase to acquire a smartphone and you select Apple, 98% of the time it's going to fail. Okay, it just does, and I've called them many times, and the problem is it's the connector between iTunes and Encase. Because when you acquire with Encase, when you acquire with Parabon, when you acquire with anybody, it actually uses iTunes, and the connector between them does not work because Apple keeps updating so much and it's not fixed. So what you do is go into iTunes, back up your device. Now, depending on how you back it up, I'm going to explain something on this. You all have an Apple device available, or an iPod or something. But when you back them up, there's an option in there to encrypt the backup. Let me explain what happens when you do that. When you encrypt the backup, obviously you need a password. Okay, makes sense. But if you don't encrypt the backup, it will not back up any passwords, any health data, any user-specific stuff. There's a lot of stuff on your device that if you don't encrypt it, you don't get. I didn't realize that until I backed up and bought a new phone and went to restore the new phone, and I lost all my health data. And I'm like, oh, because you didn't encrypt it. But now actually the new iTunes even says you must encrypt it to get health data. And it'll actually back up your key ring, it'll actually back up everything, which is kind of nice. But it must be encrypted to do it. And I was actually at a conference in Vegas, and it's kind of weird. So if I back up with iTunes and I put the password, it's a crappy password, but it's a password. It'll back it up and store all my stuff. If I back up without a password, it's still encrypted. It's actually encrypted with the hardware key based on the device. So it's actually still somewhat encrypted. You think that's actually better, but it's weird the way it works. So put a password on there if you want to get the health data. I did not put a password on there, so you won't be able to see all the health data on there. So that's encrypted with the hardware key now. Okay. So I actually initially put it up there with the health data, but there was too much in there. You didn't need it all. So, got a question? Okay. So download the software, get it installed, and so back up with iTunes. Depending on your computer, like if you're using Windows 7 and Windows 10, if you click search and go to app data, that's exactly how you type it in, app data, it'll come up with this folder. Then if you have iTunes installed, there's going to be a folder. It's going to be Apple Computer. Then inside that it'll be Mobile Sync, and that's where your iTunes backup is stored. If you don't know where that is, you can always go on Google and type where is iTunes backup stored? And it tells you right there at the top. Done. Okay? Easy enough to do. But back it up and then use that. What it is inside there's something called a manifest file. It's a manifest.plist. And so inside of Encase and Parabon both, you point to that iTunes backup, you point to that manifest file, then it imports it right in. They take a while. Now there's a video up there. But yeah, there's a video. Let me find out where this video is. Maybe I'll make a link to it. I gotta find my video. I'm sorry, I'm not on my computer. If you don't know where my channel is, just type in Kenneth Dewey. Then you go down to playlists. I think I did it in Digital Forensics. This video will work for this. Inside here, that was loud. It's like lab. It's like lab. Where is this? There will be a lecture. Why aren't these in the playlist? Why the heck? Oh, it's up here. That's why. There it is. No, that's lab 3. It's not what you want. Okay, lab 9 right here. If you look at lab 9, I'll actually copy this over there so you can
All
get
right,
it.
this is lab 9.
And that's very loud. No, this is lab 9 from the other class. But I'm going to put this in here. That way you can see, it'll walk you through basically how to use EnCase, and how to acquire and how to find stuff. So I will put a comment in there about that. Okay. So there you go. I put a link in there. This basically says how to acquire using EnCase from the digital forensics class, but the concept's the same. So watch that video. It'll tell you how to analyze stuff using EnCase. When you do it with Parabin, I do not have a video of that, but Parabin will want to sort your data. You have to say yes. But what's bad about it is you would think it's done, but it takes a long time, and it doesn't come up and say, I'm done. It looks like it's done, but it's not. And if you start going through it, after a while more stuff would appear. It's just kind of weird. When I first time I ever used it, I'm like, oh, it's done. I started doing my stuff. Then I found out it wasn't done. Because I actually made an assignment based on it, and then my numbers didn't match for the number of files it found. It's because it literally took nearly an hour. And I thought it was, oh, it's all done. So I used the numbers I saw. I didn't realize basically an hour later when it finished, it updated all the numbers, and all the students had different numbers than I did. So that's what I want you to do for Lab 8. Just play with those two tools. Now Lab 9, I'm providing you with an image. It's right here. It's an iTunes backup. It's about 700 megs. Download it. So that Lab 9, what I really want for this one is I want to see stuff that's not normal. Like, for instance, you all know what Snapchat is? Okay. Snapchat is an app on your device that you can take pictures and we can share them. I could share a picture with you, Tony, and it's only there for 10 seconds. Then it goes away. You can view it a second time, but then you can never see it again. I can't see it, you can't see it, nobody can see it. Yet it's still on the device. Right. That's what I want you to look for. That kind of stuff. I know we can find contacts, I know we can find emails. I want you to look for, like in particular, look for Snapchat, Instagram. I want you to look for any not normal information you can find on there. Like what Wi-Fi networks can you view deleted text? There's actually a bunch of deleted files you can see. The point is, I spoke yesterday in Newcastle, and the students didn't believe me. Well, they think when you delete something, it's gone. Well, it's not. So, I want you to point out some stuff that's not gone, okay? Just not normal, just other than normal stuff. Like, right, any critical data you could find on there. I'm not overly worried what you find on there. This happened with my stepdaughter's iPad, so I don't know what you're going to find on there. But my kids all know I always use your devices, so it was funny. I was doing a project in this years ago with an old cell phone. You remember Brad Johnson? Was he here when you were here, Don? Brad Johnson? Yeah. Okay. Well, Brad Johnson brought me an old cell phone. We used it in a project, and it had text on there from his son. And it was a whole bunch of swearing. It's like, that motherfucker, that was going on. And Brad was like, what did that say? He goes, we're going to have a discussion when I get home tonight. It's like, okay. So, what I like, can you tell what apps were being used? Things like that. Just other than the normal stuff you can find. Okay? Just other than normal things. I really don't care about contacts and stuff like that. For each item you found, just tell me where you found them. Because this stuff changes all the time. And the whole point is I want you to start looking for that stuff. Show me you found some of it. I found a bunch of it already. And a lot of times I'll go through, like for assignments, and I'll pick out specific items. And, so I just want, and you can, like I say up here at the top, you can use either Parabin or EnCase, whichever you want, whichever one you feel is easiest. I don't know. I would say EnCase is probably easier. But Parabin's good as well. I know they're... See, EnCase will actually show you more of the data. Parabin's like I can't view that file internally, and you can't see all this stuff. So like a lot of pictures in Parabon, you're going to have to export and view them in Windows Viewer, and whereas they show right up in NK. So it's kind of weird. But so that's what Lab 9 is. Lab 8 is due next week. Lab 9 is due the week after that. So everybody okay in what you're doing? And this is the image you're using right here. I don't know if did anyone look up there and see the images that were there last week? There was actually 2 images there last week. I deleted them because they actually did have all the health data and all the encrypted passwords, and it was too much stuff. You didn't need all that. Because you would have basically every password for my entire network at home. Because I was shocked because I had never used this iPad. But this iPad was synced with my iTunes, and it literally put up my entire iCloud keychain in there. It's like, why is that on this device? I was very shocked that it was there.
Yours?
Mine. Because I backed up, I synced the iPad with my computer to put movies on it and stuff. Well, what it had done is actually synced my computer's iCloud keychain with the iPad.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, oh. Yes. Yes. So, I mean, it was like my Wi-Fi passwords and stuff like that. I was like shocked that that's where I got the idea of what else might be on this thing that I'm not aware of. Because I was doing this lab like you're going to do it, and I'm like, holy crap, that stuff's there, and it really shouldn't. Well, trust me, I've been changing lots of my, especially after the project y'all did with the Internet of Things. I've changed that password. I try to change them all anyway, and I've been. I got a new thing at my house. I have a guest network that I use for my kids. Like my stepdaughter, that's what she uses for Wi-Fi. So now what I do is, okay, here's your chores. When you complete your chores, I will give you the Wi-Fi password. And it's actually working out great. So yesterday she kind of was funny and only told me half the answer on something from school. So I gave her half the Wi-Fi code. She wasn't too pleased. It was kind of funny, but it got the point across. Okay, so you understand what these 2 projects are? I really was hoping we could have gotten Celebrite in time, but Celebrite's a very expensive software. It's the one they use at like AT&T and Verizon. Very expensive. It costs like 10 grand, plus the yearly license is about the same. Well, we have an academic agreement where we can get it for, I think it's $1,500. Yeah, it's like, what now? Yeah, the school can. And we got it approved. The problem is the funding for it, they decided to fund it a different way through a Perkins grant. I don't know if you've ever heard of a grant called Perkins grant, which we got approved, but they haven't done the paperwork yet, and it's still not done to this point. I actually asked about it today, and they're like, nope, it's not done yet. I'm like, seriously? The grant's been approved. All we need is this paper to go through, and they haven't done it. Because then we can start. I was hoping to have that done this semester, because we actually submitted this stuff months, literally in the spring. Still don't have it, so oh well. But I'll make sure I use it in another class if you take another class. So, all right. So that's what's up with Labs 8 and Lab 9. Okay, understand what those are? If you have any issues getting Parabon to work, said we had major issues getting it to work, and it was they're switching the way. Okay, in the past it worked off of a licensed file. So what we did was I only had 25 keys I had to install, so I made 25 virtual machines. I put a key on each one, and they got a real pain in the butt to keep track of. Well, they switched to a licensing server like it is now, and it's actually great. Well, they literally said the first week in December they're switching again to something else. So I'm like, are you serious? So they're like, can you just wait until the second week? I'm like, no, we just go. So we're going with this one. But it's switching again, because I guess too many people had an issue with this one. Obviously, we literally took forever to get it working right. But, yeah. So, but it's working now. So, all right. And that's all we got then. So those are the 2 labs I need you to work on. But, yeah, they're kind of fun. They're kind of fun.